And then ethical hacking, you know that, right? So how robust is the site that it is able to withhold and withstand the attacks from malicious hackers and people who have malicious intent to get into the system in the wrong way. So that's where they try and use the SQL injection testing. So making sure that the database is secure. That's where the SQL injection is done. So that is to make sure they block that SQL injection to make it safe and secure. On the database side, they make sure that the front end is all secure and safe. The data is encrypted. Whatever you enter is encrypted as a user is encrypted with 128-bit encryption, for example, 256-bit encryption, and using of public key and private key and all these things, so that the end-to-end transition of the data is all secure in that way. So there's so many different types of testing that you've got to do for software. And now we've got cross-browser testing, cross-devices testing, testing on mobiles, tablets, browsers, Chrome, Safari, Firefox, IE, Edge, Opera, so many different types. And testing for tablets, testing for iOS devices, Android devices, so many things, right? So each of these has got its own challenge, and it's so important that we do this testing thoroughly. So our website or application or mobile application, when it is deployed, it gets and it gets into the hands and the minds of the users. They're able to actually use it seamlessly, smoothly. So all of these are basically the testing. So this layer is about testing how that could get again traced. So even the test cases need to be traced back to the requirements, right? So that's how this is the forward traceability from the user needs down to the features, the benefits, the functionality, functional requirements, non-functional requirements, and then final test cases. And then the reverse is the backward traceability. So the agile methodology is pretty simple. It's the same as well there. You start off with an epic, and from the epic user stories, from the user stories to the specifics of the description, the acceptance criteria that you write for the story, and then that gets attached to a particular sprint. So all of that need to be again traced back and forth. And in terms of stories, how would you connect to the stories? How would the priorities assigned? What is the size of a story? Remember, we were talking about the user story points or story points, right? The estimate that we give for the sizing of the story. So again, that's important. So estimates of the stories. What is the prioritization in terms of Moscow prioritization? Do you want to give? Is it should be must have, or is it should have, could have, or will not have, or is it important and urgent? Then that gets prioritized. So all of these things are again very, very important, very practically. We'll try and do that for each set of user stories, and then we would say that this is going into the sprint based on all the estimates, the priority, and then we'll implement that into the sprint, and that gets delivered as part of the product delivery. So that's how it's done in Agile. It's again similar, but it's just that you're calling that as epic, and then you've got themes, epics, and user stories and tasks. Whereas in the other, usually this is what we call as functional requirement and non-functional requirement in the traditional way. It's not that different. It's just the terminology that's